Yeah, but I mean, they're just vicious. I mean, very territorial. I mean, they're almost as bad as like.
Have you wrestled a few then?
Oh, more than a few. It's dreadful. I'll tell you. The outcome, yes.
They take his fish away.
Yes.
That was a mix, I think, of like British Australia.
It was.
Yeah,
It was totally was.
Yeah, I lost it
I couldn't
there.
transition over, so I.
Yeah, we
But,
do the best we can.
it was good, Reynolds. You were
We tried.
fantastic.
We tried. Yeah.
I wish the viewers could have saw Jim and Steph face on the screen trying to see what is that.
Also, my eyesight's going too. So
We walked over like this.
Yeah.
We were looking at the thing, just like this.
Yeah. Oh man! All right.
Your
Reynolds.
eyesight's going.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It is.
Us all. Well, we'll keep it going here. You go get your glasses, Steph. You have glasses. You need to start wearing them.
Airways.
Damn.
No.
But we've got to look at what's happening today from 9 to noon. Well, good morning, everyone. We are here with you through the mid-morning hours to get you ready for all the big events in your neighborhood.
Yeah, the Weather Channel has you covered from coast to coast, of course. And there was some sneaky sort of suspicions about the cold where it is and the warm where it is. Well, it just so turns out when we see that kind of pattern, it makes complete sense in history. We'll talk about that in a second.
We'll talk about that here.
Yeah.
Interesting, right? Plus, speaking of sneaky, that little low off the coast of Florida, is that going to be anything?
Well, yes, it probably will. It's going to bring unsettled weather, and it's going to continue it in the southeast coast. And then the question is, where does it go from there? Do people in the northeast have to watch it closely?
And does it become something tropical?
Right.
It's not completely off the table. So we'll talk more about that, the flooding that we've had. Mike Seidel actually will be live from the Fort Lauderdale area starting at 4 o'clock. And already Miami, you can just see how dark it looks with the storm clouds out there.
Yeah, we got so much rain last night in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, and I think that surprised a lot of people. We thought that maybe the heaviest rain was going to come later today or tomorrow. It happened a lot last night. We'll show you how much.
Yeah, and so we'll talk about that and also, when the rain is going to stop down there. Bill Withers sings Ain't No Sunshine yesterday. The alerts are piling on in West Palm Beach, Florida this morning, and we've got those east winds already whipping up here. This is our virtual view of the city. We are going to be watching showers and wind 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts are keeping wind alerts active, adding to the heavy rain. And also there's a rip current risk too. I'm not sure you're thinking about swimming, but don't, because we do have that high rip current risk as well, fueling some of the dangerous conditions along the coast. We're going to be looking at issues here today with the rain coming down, but also at the time of high tide, because that's when we're going to be dealing with the exceptionally high tides. New moon was yesterday here, and that can just exacerbate the flooding. We see it time and time again. We got a king tide situation. So for us in West Palm Beach, that's about 9:30-ish morning and night. We'll be dealing with that in a couple of hours on either side of it. Some of those flood-prone areas, when you have the heavy rain come down, it could be flooded. Now, we've got West Palm Beach with showers and wind all day long. It's going to keep our temperatures down, but look, we don't get a break. You can see those winds 25, 30, even 35 miles per hour. The flood alerts are up. Flood watches are posted here. These go through tomorrow. And we've got South Florida and then up the coast here through Central Florida. It really is a coastal concern here. A lot of that moisture is going to be focused there as we see that onshore flow, that east wind bringing in the moisture and giving us that heavy rain potential. So we've got that risk of flash flooding here in South Florida. This goes through tomorrow morning. West Palm, South Fort Lauderdale, right in it, Miami Gardens, right in the middle of it as well. But it continues again Thursday into Friday. We've got an area that's focused all the way up here, all the way up to almost the first coast. So watching concerns out there for heavy rainfall. The other concern is on the coast itself. And again, around the times of high tide, we've got those coastal flooding issues about an hour or two on either side of high tide. It's about 9:30 this morning, about 10 o'clock tomorrow. I mean, it fluctuates a little bit depending on where you are on the coast. But just to give you a sense of that timing, we've got here a number of areas that we have to keep an eye on. And the rainfall itself could be quite heavy, 3 to 5 inches of rain. Locally, 8 inches of rain is possible. The significant rain already causing problems this morning in South Florida. WTVJ reporter Julia Bagg has a closer look at the flooding in Oakland Park, which is just north of Fort Lauderdale. Very snowy November. We've been stuck in storm after storm after storm, all giving us really big amounts of snow here. And that's part of it, too. It's not just we're getting a couple of inches. Each bout seems to bring us 8 or 9 inches of snowfall. It's been adding up. We're more than 38 inches of snowfall, or 37 inches of snowfall here. Again, 38 would get us to that record for the month. This is about 3 times what we would typically have, a little more than 3 times typically have at this point in the season. So it's been a big one. 37 37.9, 38.8 is what the record is to beat set back in 1994. Seems like we will easily break that, maybe by tomorrow, because we've got more snow coming our way. Look at the forecast. We have it piling up here, at least 8 to 12 inches, perhaps 12 to 18. You go up in elevation, and here that does make a difference in Alaska. But this is where the cold air has been, and this is where the storms have been tracking right here, right across the Gulf of Alaska, one after another here. They come out into the northern Pacific here, and they've been throwing some moisture all the way down along the west coast of the lower 48, but they make a stop here with the snowfall. It has been snowing so much here. We had nearly a week straight of snow here. Got a little bit yesterday, but we'll be looking at some more to come in, or a little bit Monday, a little bit more to come in. Now, we have winter storm warnings that are up and some winter weather advisories that have been posted for the area. Here's a look at what's to come over the next 24 hours. More snow. I mean, some rain going down through the peninsula, but mainly it is going to be snowfall moving on through in the next 24 to 36 hours, Greg. And yet we're talking about this big snow here, and we're still talking about the tropics.
Isn't that weird how a few days is key, because it is going to get colder, I think, beginning the weekend and then the next week as well.
Yeah, which, you know, you kind of expect.
You got to expect it.
That would be less of a surprise than what we're getting out there right now.
Exactly.
Well, we're watching, of course, Florida, too. A lot of rain yesterday.
A lot of rain, and a lot of it came, I think, last night, too, and a lot of it very quickly. We saw a lot of flooding, up to 6 to 7 inches plus in some locations in just about a 6-hour period. So a lot of tropical moisture involved in it, and that led to all of the flooding concerns we saw.
It's the rainfall rates that always get us.
It's the rates. That's so true.
I mean, 6 inches of rain, even over a day, might be better than in 2 hours. You know?
6 inches of rain in a day, Florida can handle.
Right.
With the soils and the other things, but all happening at once is real trouble.
Yeah, so that's what we want to look at, the possibility of for today. We've got that chance of rainfall again. Could it be another 6 inches? It's possible. I mean, we've got 3 to 5 here in a large zone stretching from Port St. Lucie, including Fort Lauderdale, Miami, all the way down to the northern Keys. We could get into some of that big rain, but pretty widespread. We'll see if we're on track. We're not sure yet. All right, well, welcome back, everyone. We are here with you through the mid-morning hours to get you ready for all the big events in your neighborhood.
The Weather Channel has you covered from coast to coast, of course. And, you know, there's a lot going on. You know, you were talking about Florida getting a lot of rain, and a lot of it came last night. And I think to some of our surprise, maybe some of us knew, but I was caught off guard by how much came so quickly just 12 hours ago.
Yeah, we had really heavy rain. We're in a break right now, you can see, in Miami, and it just came with such a fast rate, and that's caused the flooding. Also issues around, we're not that far from high tide last night when the rain came down, and those caused other problems too because of the king tides going on there. So a lot of problems coming together to cause a bigger problem with flooding. Mike Seidel is actually going to be live in the Fort Lauderdale area starting at about 4 o'clock today. Yeah,
and it's not just the rain too that has caused some issues. We have an east wind along the Florida's east coast, coastal flood advisories, big waves, maybe some minor coastal flooding there. And this is not just a today thing. This forecast goes through tomorrow and then probably even a little bit beyond that.
Yeah, not the only spot that saw flooding. We had some flooding in the New Orleans area with the heavy rain there too. I mean, we've been talking how much about we need rain, but it was too much at once. The big rainfall rates did it. And you know, Bill Withers sings, "Ain't no sunshine when she's gone," but